Please tell people your name.
My name is Ezell Walters.
Ezell, welcome to the show. Ezell Walker, right?
No, it's Walters. W-A-L-T-E-R-S.
Ezell Walters is our guest today.
Is it Walters or Walters?
Walters. There have been, throughout history, there have been many claims of situations in which we've been in, or someone has been enriched and someone made poor by the actual idea. There was a movie released not too long ago about the gentleman who created the intermittent windshield wipers. And how he, it was his life story and how he was totally poor and labeled as crazy, only to find out that they had to pay him. And they tried to steal his idea, stole it, used it, but he was able to correct that. Ezell is in studio, and this should be on video camera, just for keepsake. So if you're listening, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to it. Ezell, give me a little background on you. Where'd you go to middle school? Or where'd you grow up first?
Well, I'm an Army brat, so I've been all over, but I moved to Detroit in 1968.
68? Wow, right around the time of the riots.
Right after.
Right after the riots. And then you went to what high school?
I went to Cooley High.
Cooley High. Participate in any sports or anything over at Cooley? In the band or something?
I went ahead and got on the swim team, and as soon as they saw I was an asthmatic, I got a red shirt, and I played chess instead.
Wow. Okay. Any chess player is a mind thinker. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's one of those particular activities or sports that is truly a mind game. People who like chess are deep thinkers for the most part. Did you go to college, Ezell?
I've had a couple of college courses, but I do not have an accreditation.
Did you work at one of the big three?
In 1980, during the CETA program, I was trained by Chrysler for design, and I was picked up by General Dynamics as a mechanical designer.
Wow, now you didn't do any mechanical engineering in high school?
I had architectural drafting there from my instructor, Mr. Burt. Mr.
Burt. So that gave you some background for what they asked you to do. How did you wind up in the design area for Chrysler?
Well, after I was pulled out of the CETA program, they liked my lines, and they went and hired me from there.
What's the CETA program?
The CETA program was a government program that paid students to go to the drafting program taught by the auto designer.
Oh, wow.
And
so wait a minute.
This was the kids to go $100 a week to go ahead and go into
the United States government, federal government, paid $100 a week to students.
Yes.
To be part of this program.
Yes.
Did you want to do the program when you were first introduced to it, and who introduced you to it?
I loved the program.
Who introduced you to the program?
I don't recall who introduced me to the program. I don't know if I saw it in the paper or what. But,
okay. But you took the program. You got the $100 a week. This is we're speaking with Ezell Walters in studio with us live, and you'll find out what he's claiming in just a moment. It's a fascinating claim. Again, it reminded me when he told me this on the street. It reminded me of the movie that I had watched about the guy who created the intermittent windshield wipers, and Ford called him a crackpot and all that kind of stuff. So, Ezell, so now you're in this program with Chrysler that is based on learning car design.
No, I did the Abrams battle tank. It was weapons design.
Oh, it was weapons design.
Correct.
What job did they first give you?
Drafting, detailing. I would go ahead and pull parts off the tank and measure them and draw them by hand.
Wow. Okay. So now you're in this program and you're rolling pretty good. You said another car company looked at you and said, "Hey, we want this kid."
That was when they pulled me out of class because I had several students there. Some went to Ford, some went to General Motors, but Chrysler pulled me out with the General Dynamics program.
All right. So now, you stay with Chrysler, is that it, or do you move to one of the other companies?
No, I ended up working there only 18 months because it was the first time I've been exposed to a smoking environment.
And you have asthma.
And I couldn't go home, so all my sick days and everything were used up for all of that. And this was right before Chrysler had to make itself pretty for the government to buy them that first bailout.
Wow. All right, so now what happens next? What happens? You can't work in that environment anymore. What happens?
Then I go ahead and I found a program from Ross Technical School, and they were teaching AutoCAD. I watched it come out when I left high school.
Okay.
It was there at the Cobo, the first not automotive, but mechanical show.
Okay. Let me, and just to set the stage for people, we're speaking with Ezell Walters. Tell people what you do now, Ezell.
Right now, I am trying to start a design program for our youth here to become computer literate and designers themselves.
Excellent, excellent. And were you in a class when I just saw you hours ago?
No, I wasn't.
Okay.
Doing something else.
All right, it was good we met then. All right, so listen. So now you designed something that you believe has been ripped off.
Yes.
Am I correct? What is it that you did that gives you this claim?
All right. In 1994, I was hired by a contract house to go to work at General Motors Tech Center.
Okay.
Room 34025 in the Tech Center.
Remember that. Remember that room number, Angie. Say the room number again, Ezell.
Room 34025.
This is going to be huge in the lawsuit here. Go ahead.
Cubicle number 1 is where I sat at.
Cubicle number 1. This is where Ezell Walters sat.
And I sat in Mary Barra's window pay. She is the highest VP paid on the planet.
Mary Barras.
Mary Barra. B-A-R-A. Okay, At that time, she was a 28-year-old female with 2 degrees.
She was hot. That's right. And what would you remember, Ezell, what Mary's 2 degrees were?
I remember that she did come from Pontiac Fiero.
Yeah. So she was a hot shot. She was a hot shot.
I believe it was ergonomics.
That's incredible. Okay. So now, go ahead. So now we're in the 1994. Go ahead. We've got the setting. So.
Right then, I'm there as a computer expert. My job was to go ahead and get these sheets of paper from Toyota and General Motors and match the numbers up for the new vehicle build because they had bought Toyota 10 years ago to learn that just-in-time method of construction.
All right, so this is Toyota, right?
Yeah, this is Toyota that's married to General Motors.
Okay. And you call it Toyota.
Well, Toyota.
It's okay. It's all right. I mean, I just thought it was something to that. So now, they asked you to do what again?
I have a stack of papers to match the Toyota numbers with the General Motors numbers so I can build this just-in-time car.
Okay. What car was this, and what year was it?
This was for the Pontiac G6, but then it was called the G Series, the Pontiac Grand Prix, the G Series.
The G Series. All right. So you're working on the G Series. This is what, 94, 95?
Right.
All right. What happens in 1996?
In 1996, they come to my cubicle and they take pictures of me sitting in my cubicle with 20 cars in my cubicle and tell me it's for an all-people's meeting to prove diversity. And they lay me off 3 months later, while I watch everyone around me continue to be hired by the next headhunting company for the next phase of work to come into General Motors.
Why do you think they picked you, Ezell, to eliminate at the time?
I guess because it was fashionable at the time.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What transpires after that?
What transpires after that? I go on to work for Hewlett Packard, and then I go on to work for...
what did you do for Hewlett Packard?
I was a computer expert. I would go to the malls and train their staff.
Do you have any deep education in terms of going on to a 4-year institution and then getting a master's and that kind of stuff? You basically learn this stuff on your own.
Yes.
It's a natural given talent from God. It's a gift.
I have no argument with that.
Yeah. Okay. So now what happens next, Ezell?
After that, after I leave Hewlett Packard, I go work for the city of Detroit.
All right, hold that thought. Hold that. We'll be right back. So we return to Ezell Walters. He is a design engineer. And really what this story is about is a possible ripoff. This is a fascinating story. There was a gentleman not long ago that won a huge lawsuit from the Ford Motor Company. I mean, huge, right? And everybody labeled him a crackpot. Said this guy's a nut. Right? He's just a nut. He's talking about something he knows nothing about. And what makes him think that a huge corporation with intellectual designers would rip him off? He claimed they did. Long story short, he won that case. We're talking to a gentleman who basically has the same claim, different situation, design engineer. Ezell. So now we're to the part where you were let go for diversity. Is that what they told you?
No, they just, one day into my contract when my supervisor said, well, do we have anything else for him to do? And she says, no. And he says, okay, well, lay him off.
Wow.
So
let me get to the part of your claim. Tell people what your claim is.
Obama's money and Ezell's design. General Motors ain't colorblind. In 1996, they came to my cubicle and they stole my artwork, put it in their pockets, and lit me up with lights and cameras.
All right, hold on right there. Wow. Did you just hear that? I mean, this sounds like something, I don't know, the aliens would do. Right? Fascinating story here, right? Ezell, repeat all that again for me.
I said in 1996, General Motors came to my cubicle and lit me up with lights and cameras and stole my work.
What'd they light you up with the cameras and lights for?
They said it was for an all-people's meeting to prove diversity. There was a thing at General Motors when they have everybody come into the boardroom and they do a head count to see what races are represented. They won't say it, but that's what it is. So they said they're going to put me in the picture, in the paper, Jim's paper, for that picture for an all-people's meeting to prove diversity.
Now, what did they lift from your desk, and did you ask why? What did they take?
The Chevy Camero.
The new Chevy Camero.
The new Chevy Camero. I had a 67 myself, and I took pictures of my 67 with cameras, and I changed it in a program before Photoshop. And I photographed it with my 35mm camera in the dark off my computer screen because printers cost as much as a house.
All right, listen, do me a favor.
Yes.
In 1996, the Chevy Volt was just released, what, 3-4 years ago?
Yes.
All
now,
right, so
the average turnaround for a car, it was 4 years. It's going to be 3 years. It may be even 2 years now. Right. From concept sketch to body in white.
You claim in 1996 you had actually drawn these concept cars.
Correct.
Can you show the staff in studio the drawings that you have?
Yes, I can.
All right, show it to them. And I wish you all could see this. But he's going to show it to Angie Starr. Angie, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Take a look at what
the white car at the bottom is a Cadillac XLR.
Which is, what, this year, right?
It came out in, I want to say 2006 or 7.
All right.
The two-seat rear hot rod.
Now, these photographs are from 1996.
Now, here's the Chevy Volt. And here is the Cadillac CTS and the Regal. If you had a mirror and put on the front, I would get one front end for that and one front end for that.
Now, look at these pictures. He did this in 1996.
See this. Come here, Mika. Look, Trump. Look at this.
These vehicles are on the street just as the last 4 years or so. Last 4 or 5 years or so. His.
There's the Pontiac G8 and the Cadillac CTS in 96. I was the point man for the Pontiac Grand Prix project.
Remember, he mentioned that earlier.
Whoa, look.
Do any of you in the room have any thoughts on what you're looking at?
I'm seeing the Cadillac today, right?
Yeah. That's what I'm looking at.
The Cadillac that's on the street today.
And to all of my beautiful ladies out there that bought the Cadillac CTS, I'll let you know now, brother did it.
What do you say, Truck? You're looking at the photos. Believable or not believable? I can't cuss you. Or not. What do you think?
Oh, no. This is definitely the Camero, though. Right? This is the Camero?
No, that right there is the Volt.
Chevy Volt.
Oh, the Volt.
The Volt up top, and the one on the bottom is Cadillac CTS.
Now, remember, he did this in 96.
Right.
Like, we're looking at this product over the last 4 years.
He has a Camero over there.
Wow. Ezell, where do you go from here?
Oh, wow.
What are you going to do? You don't work right now, is that right?
That's correct.
You don't work. You're free every day. If somebody saw you on the street, they'd probably say he's crazy and a bum.
That would be correct.
Without ever looking at any of this or knowing anything. Where do you go from here?
Well, as of right now, if I could go and have a bridge between getting a grant in a building, I would teach the youth and the long-time unemployed design.
There's no lawsuits in mind for against General Motors?
When I went ahead and approached General Motors, I wrote them several letters. And one day, one called me on the phone and said, why do you keep writing our executives?
Wait a minute. Now, that's a line from the movie. And I can't remember the movie. Have you seen the movie of the guy who created the windshield?
You're talking about Dennis Kearns.
Dennis Kearns is his name.
Correct.
He did the same thing.
Yeah, but you couldn't see his until the rain came out in his 72 Mustang. You could see mine driving up the street every 3 minutes.
Will you sue?
I can't sue. I don't have any money. And I've approached different lawyers, And they sitting there, but at first they said, well, they're going to go bankrupt. You're not going to get anything. And now they say they're too big.
Wow. It's fascinating. Unbelievable. Listen, thanks for coming in, Ezell, to tell your story. Is there anything else you'd like to say to everybody listening?
Yes. I got 5 rolling down the street. I got 5 rolling.
5 of them.
Check me out and see. Brothers and sisters, Chevys and Cadillacs, give me a minute to bend your ear back. From 2000 to 09, these be Ezell's design. Chevy Camero and Malibu, Caddy CTS and XLR2. In the summer of 94, Ezell is clocking through GM door. Picture me in a cubicle cave, working for GM as a contract slave. Room 340-25, cubicle 1 is where I survive. Sit like a picture in a frame, Mary Barra's window pane. CTS and XLR are my highway supercars. Got 5 rolling down the street.
How long did it take you to come up with that?
Well, after I got off the phone talking to General Motors till my phone said enough, I dared to yell to my Lord. And my Lord said, write down these words, and those are them.
Wow, he's
amazing.
That's an incredible story, man. Thank you, man. That is an incredible story.